everyone. I'm Dr. Melanie Gray, Ph.D. RN, one of the confidence coaches at Blaze Coaching and Consulting. So glad you could visit our channel today. And I want to start off with just a short discussion on the importance of understanding the impact that your past can have on who you become, and to encourage you to get help for yourself if you need to. I want to remind you that our philosophy around developing more confidence is around the acronym ACT. You must act, and you have the power to act. And A is acknowledging the opportunities that you have to improve your confidence and overcome fear, and you can cultivate confidence and courage, and that you must be willing to change. You must be willing to transform. And so as we move forward, I want to tell you that prior to the pandemic, it was estimated that 1 in 6 Americans had one adverse childhood experience, and that as of 2023, per the Center of Disease Control, it was found that overall 63.9 of all U.S. adults reported having at least one adverse childhood experience, and that 17.3% reported having 4 or more. Now, guys, this just means that when you think about 63.9%, that 63.9% of anyone you see in the grocery store, in the movies, at your church, in your school, at your job, the people around you in life have had some kind of trauma. So trauma is almost like a epidemic. And so in knowing that, I want you to have grace for yourself and grace for other people when you encounter behaviors that you really don't understand, or as you are trying to understand yourself, because you might wonder, why don't I feel more confident? Why am I so jumpier? Why do I feel so fearful? And so it could be, not saying it is for everyone, so hopefully this information helps you understand yourself and others, that it could be something from your past, an experience. And so we want you to understand the concept of trauma-informed care so that you can promote healing, keep yourself safe, and get access to resources to help you if you absolutely need to do that. Because our childhood is a foundation, sets the foundation for who we become. What are adverse childhood experiences? So I told you, you're not alone in this. Almost 64% of all Americans. Now, and then when you add the pandemic experience on top of the adverse childhood experiences, you almost have a universal experience of trauma. So some examples of adverse childhood experiences are emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional neglect, physical neglect, intimate partner violence, substance abuse, mental illness, parental separation or divorce, having incarceration, living in a community that is challenged by violence. And I understand, what it's like. My parents grew up through the Jim Crow era. They were traumatized. I grew up in the inner city, which had a set of experiences for me, and both of my parents struggled with mental illness. So for me, that was very challenging. And I had to learn to overcome some behaviors and understand why they couldn't give me some things emotionally because of their own trauma. So it helped understanding trauma and the impact of historical trauma helped me understand myself, forgive myself, and move forward. So when we look at adverse childhood experiences, so these were some examples of childhood experiences, adverse childhood experiences. We could also add to that the natural disasters that are happening, inflation, layoffs. So there are many reasons people experience adverse childhood experiences. And what we know, the research has shown us, is that that when children are, even in the womb, are exposed to adverse childhood experiences, poor social conditions, adverse childhood experiences will lead to disrupted neural development. And much of the research now is showing that the first 2 months of life are most important in that developing brain, and that even an infant can be traumatized and experience PTSD because they're sensitive to sounds, noises, if they're held or not. And no one, necessarily wakes up and says, hey, by the way, did you know that I wasn't nurtured well when I was 2 months old? So we don't know everyone's story, and I would dare say that sometimes we don't know all of our own. Not judging, not blaming, but this is just to create awareness for you, because you're acting to acknowledge, okay, I have some opportunities to improve. You are owning and saying, I'm going to develop courage and more confidence, and you're going to transform. So it's part of that is just understanding the impact of the past. Not that we want to excuse ourselves our whole lives, but we want to understand. And so childhood trauma can lead to lifelong feelings of fatigue, being startled easily, a racing heartbeat, physical problems like high blood pressure, aches and pains, stress and trauma has also been found to reduce the immune system, can cause withdrawing, a feeling of hopelessness, confusion, just feeling like emotionally numb, like you can't connect. And again, we're not diagnosing, we're just sharing some experiences that can happen, and because then trauma can lead to other behaviors, emotional dysregulation, heightened anxiety, poor relationships, avoidance triggers, difficulty with concentrating. And again, if any of this speaks to you, get help. There's nothing wrong with getting help. I personally, had to get help, and even as a healthcare professional, and I'm so glad that I did. And because by being trauma informed, being aware of our own experiences and traumas, and getting the help can help us then build the resilience and build new skills to strengthen our relationships, strengthen ourselves, so we can be better and do better for ourselves and others. So in that we must be kind to each other as we work through our fears, our lack of confidence, our pain, our past, our truth, and so that we are graceful to each other, graceful to ourselves, empathetic to ourselves, and empathetic and sensitive to those around us. Empathy allows us to be better, understand the sufferings of others, and respond with compassion, by Brene Brown. And so we want to be a better world. We have to be better for ourselves. So I hope that this has helped you understand why you may be fearful, be struggling with confidence, because you might have something in your past, your historical trauma. Next time our channel, one of our next videos will be on the multi-generational historical cultural impact of trauma, and the cultural groups that may have been very significantly impacted in our community and society. So I hope this helps you. If you like what we shared today, please subscribe to our channel, and please, look at our link below. It has some helpful information, and